Hello, today for review I've got a great unusual device and basically a sequel of legendary device. Long time ago, when inexpensive headphones were totally bad and players were big and it was just few of them available on the market, I mean audiophilic players, not that mass market things like iPods, American company CEntrance released the HiFi-M8, or spelling M8, like letter and digit, but of course it's supposed to be pronounced as mate, and it was a small semi-portable digital to analog converter and amplifier that offered great sound, gathered a lot of attention, and basically was one of the best sounding devices of that time, and many considered it as the best. Then CEntrance released Mini-Mate, then they shifted their focus of attention to professional market. I have the recorder still waiting for review, and I will review it in some near future. But then they've decided to release Mate version 2, more modern approach. Of course, they released a lot of interesting devices in between. Great small digital to analog converter DAC port HD, battery version of this device DAC portable, Blue DAC, and many other stuff. But today let's focus on their flagship. It's a portable digital to analog converter with Bluetooth. Price is $750. Of course it's expensive, but taking into account the amount of features it offers, I think it's pretty worth attention. So probably let's proceed to the review itself. So it came in small pretty portable box. There were two stickers. As you can see, after ungluing they left some traces of glue. Small basic information on the back side, but it's not that interesting. Inside there is a manual with short information about connecting, playing, and so on. Also you'll get this staple-like tool for switching USB-C to USB-C cable with adapter. So basically you can use it both with USB-C devices and with regular USB type A. Velvet pouch. Not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of such pouches, but anyway. And device itself. So it's relatively small. Of course, maybe it's not that small as we'd like, but it's definitely not big. Case made of aluminium, and interesting thing that it offers the tripod mount screw, because CEntrance positions their devices as devices for the professional usage, and basically this one is a portable audio interface that can be used for record monitoring. They also offer the recorder in similar case. So if you'd like, you can mount it on the tripod. I think it even can be used as a desktop device in such orientation. It's pretty heavy, about 400 grams or even a bit more, but built solidly like a tank. And there are a lot of interfaces. Fun idea here is that device consists of two sides. This one is called hot side, this one is called cold side. And on the hot side there are connectors for the full size headphones, 6.3mm and actually balanced XLR. From this balanced connector it can deliver up to 1.5 watts of total power. Yes, 1500 milliwatts or 1.5 watts. That is pretty cool for such a small device, I think. And also here is separate USB-C slot for charging. On the top side there is a VU meter that can be used for monitoring purposes. It's precisely calibrated, but actually you can use this device for your headphones listening, and it's basically will be suited for the entertainment. And cold side is more interesting, as you can see. more controls here, more outputs and connectors. So this USB can be used to connect it as a digital to analog converter. It supports highest resolutions up to 384 kHz, 32 bits, DSD 512 if I remember right. Actually, as a digital to analog converter here used AK4493 chip, not super fancy, but when it's properly cooked it can deliver a lot of good high quality sound, and that's actually the case. And toggling this switch, you can see charge, you can use it for charging too. It's pretty convenient when you use it as a desktop device, so you can basically turn on charging and you won't have to use two cables, one for charge, one for data. And when you use it with some mobile device, for example, you can turn charge off and it will use only data here. Here is gain switch, and it's pretty powerful, so device is well suited for that purposes. You can get tons of power from this out, but on the low gain from the single-ended or balanced output you will get virtually zero noise even with sensitive in-ear monitors, so it's pretty universal. Two outputs, 2.5mm balanced and 3.5mm non-balanced regular one. What we've got here, input selector, so basically selects between USB and Bluetooth, slight bass and treble boost. Turning these switches you can add about 1.5 decibels or 2 decibels, so slight gentle boost, no big changes, but slightly boosting. Also there is on-off switch, so you just press it, it turns on, and these three LED indicators shows you the battery charge level, and this LED is for charging. Charge took about 4 hours from the regular wall charger, and it will be enough for about 5 hours of listening from the hot side, or about 8 hours if you turn on the stamina mode. In stamina mode it basically disconnects the hot side and you can get up to 8 hours of work for the in-ear monitors or for regular sensitivity headphones. Because of course you can use this side for full-size headphones too, it will drive them pretty nicely. If I remember right, it can deliver up to 300 milliwatts here from this output. And in Bluetooth mode, it's about USB mode. In Bluetooth mode it can work for about 10 and 15 hours respectively. These figures are pretty close to life. So when it's blinking back and forth, it's waiting to be paired. What else I can say about it? Probably that's all for this part. You can see that device is built nicely, looks fancy, pretty audiophilic. You can use it on the go, you can use it as a desktop device. In this case it will use a battery as a power filter. Lot of power, and of course forgot to mention two wheels. One is for volume and second one changes the brightness of this VU meters, so you can dim them if you don't like, you can make them brighter if they entertain you. So in terms of design and other stuff, I really like this device and it feels pretty solid. And of course about the sound. Probably for better demonstration I should put some big headphones on the table, but to be honest I'm just too lazy to go and bring them in my studio, so I've decided to use sensitive but pretty demanding earphones by Noble Audio. It's Han, and for demo purposes I will use connected via Bluetooth FIO M15, and it even shows that aptX codec is engaged, so you can see that aptX is supported here. Unfortunately no LDAC or aptX HD, but that would require more expenses, so they've decided to stick with aptX, but kind of spoiler. Advanced digital tonal converter schema gives a really good results, and even with aptX, loss in resolution is really minor, and it's thanks to good amplification, it delivers good extension on both ends. So I'd probably won't bother with lossy codec with this device, because it's one of the best devices with aptX connection. Sorry. And let's talk about the sound. I will describe the sound in the USB mode, but will show the player in the wireless mode, just kind of simplification for me. Anyway, in the wired mode, it shows good resolution and interesting sound with highlighted macro dynamics and weight. It's energetic, it's powerful, it controls everything perfectly and gives a really good sense of control. Low frequencies are linear with a slight of added weight, but weight not quantity. They go to the maximum depth, they controlled almost perfectly even with full-size headphones. From the hot side it will deliver punchy, impactful, tight bass with good resolution, with tons of small nuances, with tons of details, and with all stuff that is necessary. A bit of additional weight will make low frequencies more authoritative and even better present. From the cold side it's also the same, but for in-ear monitors and for sensitive headphones. They are really good in representing realistic instruments thanks to the good amount of small nuances and details. And as an example, I will use Nathaniel, Rateliff and the Night Suites track Thank You. Actually, let me start playback. It will show the VU meter, so you can see that LEDs used here are pretty bright. Even under bright studio lights they remain visible, but you can reduce the brightness to get the proper level that will suit your needs most of all. Just like that, kind of retro looking, but pretty nice. So going back to this track, Thank You, they have nice big drum and good amount of instruments that goes to the low frequency domain, and they all recorded live. I mean not live, I mean in studio, but without sampling and effects, and that requires a lot of small nuances, and that digital tonal converter delivers that pretty perfectly. Of course it will nail the electronic music and other stuff absolutely perfectly, but what is more important, it's good with acoustic double bass, with brass instruments and all that other stuff. They sounding realistic and full-bodied. Mids are natural. You know, first version of M8 were called wire with gain, thanks to its neutrality and monitoring representation, and M8 version 2 holds that name too, but sounding even better in terms of dynamic and in terms of emotions. So it's less monitoring and with more emotions, but sounding really realistic and natural. It's pretty critical for the quality of records because of good resolution, but it won't highlight the small nuances and issues like first version of M8 did. It just requires good master tracks in order to show the full potential. But at the same time resolution is great, body of instruments and vocal are really good. Male vocals sounding velvety and pleasant. Overall it's a pretty musical sounding device, but without artificial warmth or something like that. And as an example, I've decided to go for the rock music this time. It's Reckless Love, Bullet Time. I really like this group, sad that they didn't release new album, but it's still interesting, catchy tunes, nice guitar riffs, bit joking lyrics, and lot of distorted guitars here, requires good resolution, and this device delivers them really nicely and plays them really well. And treble has good extension, and attacks and decays are close to realistic, but just a bit shortened, or they bit faster than they should be, but still close to realistic. Layering is nice, not perfect, but pretty good, and that gives good overtone saturation and almost zero coloration in treble. They not recessed, not highlighted, not softened, not what is antonym for soften, accented, or something like that. So basically they will deliver, this Mate version 2 will deliver treble as is, with full authority and with good control and nice layering. So basically good mature treble representation. And I promised that I will use classical rock music. So Rush, chemistry, lot of percussions, nice cymbals at the beginning and all over this track, and thanks to the good technical treble performance of Mate version 2, this track sounding really realistic and nice. So once again, almost natural device with a hint of added weight, sounding on the good mature level. In terms of pairing, you can easily guess that it's totally universal. It can deliver virtually anything, with few exceptions, with few super power hungry models like Abyss, but all other models, even planars, it drives nicely. Mesa Empyrean, I don't know what else. Odyssey models, except LCD4 probably, but LCD4 is also good, but just a bit more amplification would be nice. But other models by Odyssey sounding good, and other models that I can think of are driving properly and on the really good level. Speaking about the conversions, I don't have other device of this price range. Some time ago I used HiFi, what was it, Nano Black Label or Mini Black Label, I don't remember. I'm always confusing the difference between Nano and Mini. Probably it was Mini, because Nano is smaller than Mini. It was Mini Signature Black Label, also bit pricey digital to analog converter, but this one sounding a bit more musical and a bit more natural thanks to better weight distribution. And basically it's on the level of players of entry higher segment. It's somewhere on the level of Astel & Kern Alpha Cube and all that other dubs of this level, but with a bit of different representation. So if you're looking for good sound quality to price ratio, portable digital to analog converter could be a great option. Of course, it's not as portable as smaller players, and you will need something to use as a transport, but still it's a really solid device with great value, and it's a great offer with nice sound, tons of power, pretty stylish design, and so on and so forth. So thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and have a nice day.